Yeah. We
Yeah.
had to split the last live Q&A into,
Yeah,
well, not
two,
the last
yeah.
one, but the one before.
All right, guys, we are back. Very sorry about that. It looks like YouTube is being really a pain lately. It happened last week. It happened this week again. Damn. All right, cool. So you guys were asking us some questions in the live chat. If you can put it back again, and we're going to start again with this one. So that's a question that we got from Instagram.
Okay, so on Instagram, we got a question from Anis Avanci saying, hey, I recently discovered your YouTube channel and it's amazing. I was wondering which you'd recommend between Raglan and Tauranga and why. I'm hoping to do more of the true New Zealand things and less of the touristy things. Okay, so we'll start off by talking a little bit about the difference between the two towns and where they're located. So I'll start off by talking about Tauranga. Tauranga is a large city on the North Island, and it's located in the Bay of Plenty region. And it's on the east, basically on the east coast of the North Island. And Tauranga is in a really good place for exploring the rest of the North Island. So it's only maybe about 2 to 3 hours to reach Auckland. It's only, 2 or 3 hours to go to Lake Taupo in the center of the North Island. A couple of hours to get over to Gisborne on the East Cape of the North Island, or to go see some awesome beaches in the Coromandel just north of Tauranga as well. So you have lots of options for exploring the North Island from Tauranga. In terms of the size of Tauranga, it is one of the largest cities in New Zealand. So that is where it is completely different to Raglan. So I'll talk a little bit more about Raglan now. And Raglan is on the west coast of the North Island, and it's pretty isolated. It's a small town with only one road access, basically, from the rest of the North Island. And the nearest city to Raglan is Hamilton. So if you are in Raglan, you'll have to take, I think it's maybe an hour to 2 hours to get to Hamilton, and then from there that's when you can access the rest of the North Island. But Raglan is sort of known for being a little bit of a hippie town. It's really small, but it's more true to what New Zealand, like real Kiwi towns are. So if you are looking for that more authentic New Zealand experience, then I feel personally you're going to find that more in Raglan than you are in Tauranga, where, you know, Tauranga is just like any other city where it's got a whole range of different, you know, people from all over the world living there. It's not really true to what New Zealand really is. So yeah, that's the difference between the size and location. Do you want to talk about Tauranga and the things to do there?
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of things to do in both places, in Raglan and Tauranga, but we'll give you a few examples of what are the main kind of attraction in each city, which should help you kind of decide, okay, this is more my vibe or not my vibe at all, basically. So in Tauranga, you've got Mount Maunganui, which is basically a really big suburb of the city, and it has a beautiful big mount that you can climb. It's about a 20-minute climb up there, and you have beautiful surrounding views of the cities and the water, and it's quite a nice little summer kind of area to visit. It's pretty popular. And the other big thing in Tauranga is the art scene. So we were talking about the art scene not that long ago, actually. And there is quite a lot of street art, like some big murals. There is some big museums there over there as well. And they have a lot of little markets as well. So if you are into like this kind of like little city kind of life and art and stuff like that, you know, Tauranga is going to be kind of for you as well. One of the big hotspots in Tauranga, especially in summer, it's a big hotspot in summer. It's called McLaren Parks. There are some waterfalls over there. It's a really big park. And there is a few hikes to do around there. And it's a really cool area to visit as well. And then obviously Tauranga is very famous for being one of the best spots in New Zealand to swim with dolphins, which is always quite cool to do. So now at that point, you're going to take a whole boat and you're going to go way offshore, and they do it very differently than other places in the country. So make sure to check out our video on that, and we'll put a link in the description below. So that's our video of us swimming with dolphin in Tauranga, which is quite nice. And finally, Tauranga is the place where you want to go if you want to work in the kiwi fruit industry. It's one of the easiest places in the country to get a job. So yeah, definitely do that if you want to go. Go to Tauranga if you want to do that as a job. It's really fun. Like, speaking of, like, you know, you want to experience the kiwi life, well, you want to experience the tree kiwi fruit life, you go to Tauranga. Now, what about Raglan? What is there to do there?
So the most famous thing in Raglan to do is to go surfing. It's basically known as like the surf mecca of New Zealand, and that's because it has such consistent and good surfing conditions there. There's lots of different places you can go depending on if you're a beginner. There's a nice lovely black sand beach there where all the lessons go to for you to learn how to surf. But then if you are a little bit of a pro, you can swim out to various different reef breaks that are just off the shore as well.
What if you're not just a little bit of a pro, but a real pro? Can you do this as well?
Well, yeah, sure,
Of
you
course.
can. You can go surfing anywhere. World's your oyster. So that's definitely like the most famous thing you can do in Raglan, pretty much. But other things you can do kayaking or stand-up paddleboarding to a really awesome place, which is the Pancake Rocks. This is not to be confused with the Punakaki Pancake Rocks, which is on the South Island that everyone's seen photos of.
Yeah.
Raglan has their own version of the Pancake Rocks, which basically just come out of the sea, and you can go kayak or stand-up paddleboard around them, and it's only about a 10-minute paddle away from the shores of Raglan itself, so it's really easy to get to, and you can hire kayaks or stand-up paddleboards from the Raglan backpackers, for instance. They do hire out that sort of gear, and they'll point you in the right direction of where to go, and that's a good way to spend like half a day. I don't know if you don't really need to spend half a day there, but just
take it easy.
Yeah.
It's Raglan.
yeah. Just to know, Raglan is a really sort of hippie bohemian town where it's just like
that comes with everything that comes with
relaxed.
hippie and bohemian.
Yeah. So it's definitely a place that you can take it easy. Other things you can do is there is a volcanic mountain overlooking the town called Mount Karioi or Karioi. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. But there are a few hiking trails to get up to the summit of the mountain where obviously there's amazing views all the way around across the North Island and out to the Tasman Sea. So that's also
awesome
another really good option. And by being a bohemian town that Raglan is, there are a lot of local gigs on. There's a lot of like yoga sessions. There's quite a lot of hostels there which actually have like either do weekly yoga sessions or they have a yoga deck where you can actually go and do your yoga in front of the sunset. And it's definitely a good place for that. And finally, if you're making your way in or out of Raglan, then don't miss Bridal Veil Falls. This is a beautiful long drop waterfall. It's about 40 meters high, I think. There's about a 10-minute walk to get to the top of the waterfall, or you can take the option to continue a little further down, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes where you can get to the bottom of the waterfall. It's just a really good photo opportunity as well. So that's pretty much what you can do in Raglan.
All right. So now if we were to have to pick a town, I personally think I would pick Raglan. I think, it's just such a small, I'm more into really small towns. So I think I would pick Raglan just because it has this really small town vibe. And there is still full packed of activities. So that would be my pick. What about yours?
Yeah, I think for me, I would go with Tauranga just so you can sort of explore a lot of the North Island from there. And you also get all the conveniences of being in a city. So you find sort of like cheaper food, just basically ways of living because everything, you get lots of options for services and stuff like that.
That makes sense. So thank you very much for sending us this question on Instagram, Anissa Vassi. I hope I said that correctly. If you do have any follow-up questions in the comment below, and obviously we will be putting a guide of Raglan and a guide of Tauranga in the description of the video, just so you can click on that and just read more about those two cities. And if you find this video useful, like and subscribe. All right, let's go back to the live chat. So a lot of people are getting back to it. Sorry for the cuts, by the way. Dion is asking, is New Zealand LGBT friendly? Yes, very much. We actually have another video about that. We had someone ask us the question before. We are definitely very, very LGBT friendly in New Zealand. You will have no problem with that whatsoever. Brian is saying, good morning, you two. I arrived last week. Oh, yeah, he's been so cold. Hell, yes, It has been freezing. He made an Italian friend in Auckland, and they're currently on their way to Cape Reinga. And they found work in Mount Maunganui starting next week. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Look at that. All sorted in 1 week.
Everything just works out. Once you arrive in New Zealand, people are always stressing before they come. But honestly, it's just goes with the flow, and it's just pretty easy once you arrive.
Yeah, so to give you a little bit of context, Brian was coming to ask us quite a lot of questions about a month ago or something like that, because he was a little bit stressed about his trip. And so, yeah, we answered a lot of his questions on live chat. So so you see, Dion, right now you are in this mindset right now. You're stressing about coming to New Zealand. You worked out very well for Brian, and you can be in Brian's shoes really soon. So yeah, don't worry about it. It's going to sort itself out. And yeah, it's all good. Just come with all your questions, and we'll be able to reassure you and point you into the right direction. So yeah, it's awesome, Brian. We're really, really stoked for you. That's so cool. So yeah, if you start working in Mount Maunganui, we are suspecting you work in the kiwi fruit industry, but let us know if we're right or not. All right, Jack is saying Jack Sparrow with a lot of extra sparrows everywhere, to be honest. Hey, hi, I love your video very much in New Zealand. It's an awesome country, and I wish to settle down here one day with a sheep farm. Yes, we don't have enough sheep in New Zealand. It's very famous. We need some more sheep here. So yeah, definitely come in.
And I hope you have lots of sheep to bring with you on the Black Pearl.
He's going to ride with his pirate sheep. Pirate sheep.
Pirate sheep.
So funny. Anyway, Dian said thank you very much. All right. So yeah, so it looks like today we had quite a few people that were a little bit stressed about traveling in New Zealand. I just want to reassure everyone that New Zealand is one of the safest countries in the world to travel and to work and travel in. So there is no need to stress too much about coming to New Zealand on the gap year. It's literally the safest version of your gap year. So just make sure that you guys are just taking a breather, relaxing. It's going to be a very easy, kind of easygoing process, as long as you just follow like good method. And that's why we take the time to give them to you here on video, but also put them on the website. So it's backpackerguide.nz. Make sure to check it out. We have a whole section about working and traveling in New Zealand with all our tips for organizing your whole trip, everything from organizing your first week in New Zealand, which we talked about at the beginning of these videos, to how to actually use your gap year experience as a valuable tool on your CV when you get back home to your home country, and make sure that you make the most out of that experience in front of employers. So we go through everything from start to finish and even beyond that. So make sure to check out all the content, and that should help you kind of relieve all the stress and also make the most of your trip here. I'm always kind of I'm not frustrated, but I'm always kind of like stressed to see people stressed about their trip. It's kind of like there's no need to stress.
Yeah. Also, I think some people lose focus of what coming to New Zealand is all about. Like, remember that New Zealand is an awesome place to travel around, and I always think that it's such a shame when people come here so focused to just find work in one city and never leave that city. Yeah. It's like, why travel across the world to do something where you're probably going to get paid better elsewhere? Like, New Zealand is definitely a place where you come to experience like the amazing landscapes and everything that this amazing country has to offer. So
look at Brian's example right now. He arrived in Auckland. He's going on a trip with an Italian mate that he probably just met in the hostel. They're going to Cape Reinga, which is up north from Auckland, and he already found himself a job south of Auckland, which is in Mount Maunganui. So it's out of Auckland. So don't just arrive and say, I'm going to land in Auckland, I'm going to find a job in Auckland, I'm just going to work here. Learn from my mistakes. Watch the beginning of this live session, which is in another video because
it's all cut out.
Because YouTube is nonsense, and make sure to actually just give yourself a chance to explore New Zealand and get out of Auckland. But yeah, there is no need to stress. You guys can travel peacefully around the country, stress-free. It'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, let's quickly look at the live chat before we say goodbye to everybody. Dian say thank you very much. Well, you're very welcome. We see you next week at the same time right here. Don't forget to join us again. GSM say thank you for your answer. Love you guys. Thank you very much again. Here next week at the same time. Sai says you are both a beautiful and blessed couple.
Oh, thank you. Very kind words.
Yeah, I know. And for once, it's not just you being beautiful; it's me as well. So I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sai. Join us again next week as usual. And GSM says, never travel around the world. Well, you know what? Get started now. Start traveling around the world, and first up should be New Zealand. On that note, thank you very much for joining us, guys, for another one of our live sessions. We are here every single week at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And we do that for you guys. So make sure to join us. In the meantime, you have an awesome day in wherever you are in the world. And Brian, you enjoy your trip around New Zealand. Everybody, which is New Zealand, enjoy your travel. And we see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you later.